How to find that creative idea for your brand, how to make your brand unique, how to make it look special, different from already what exists in the market, how to make it recognizable and memorable at the same time. I will give you some cool exercises in this video and some practices that I'm using myself with my clients at the agency or during private consultations. If you are new here on this channel, welcome. My name is Daria. I'm the brand strategist and the founder at the luxury branding agency in the United States called BrandDA. We are serving clients with marketing, website design, branding, social media content creation, basically anything that the brand might need. And of course, from every single time we are hearing that people want to have something special, something one of a kind, something unique. And then I'm like, okay, of course, let's get it done. What makes something truly unique and special to us, and how to find this creativity? Where is this coming from? Let's first discuss where do the ideas come from. To understand things a bit better, I will give you my perspective, how I see brand creation and how I see overall creativity and our inspiration, our energy in that aspect. So I see that creativity is just an idea that comes in your brain at a specific certain point in time, and that idea comes not only in your brain but actually in brains of other people all over the world as well, different time zones, different places. But this is kind of how we have sometimes people get and create something that feels like, oh my god, actually I wanted to do that. Sounds familiar? This is how that happened. The book I highly recommend you to read, it's called The Creative Act, A Way of Being. I recently found out about that book, and when I read this I realized that this is how I live my life, and it just explains how do the creative people live their life, how do they get ideas. And I was like, okay, this is exactly how I think my life is structured. The philosophy was very aligned, and I think it's worth giving it a shot if you're curious about that part as well. I have to say that our ideas, new ideas that are coming in our brain, are also frequently based on the previous visual experience that we have consumed. So to have more creativity overall, it means that we have to widen the angle of perception where we are at the moment. It means that, for example, if you are looking at one certain specific angle of the problem, of course you will not see more. It means that we need to widen the variety of options of this abundant world to have more ideas and more options that we can choose from. It means that we basically don't have a lot of options to choose from. So the only thing that we have here, it means that we need to look and expand the knowledge base that we already currently have to make options from. So to conclude, it means that we need to find a source of inspiration elsewhere. If, for example, in the past you were curious about only one specific niche, of course you will be having the idea range coming from this one specific niche. It means that in case you want something extraordinary and something out of this world, we need to embrace the abundance of options and just explore a bit more from other parts of the world where you haven't tried yet. And this comes to a cool strategy, something that works every single time, that I like doing a lot. I like mixing things between each other. The creative idea that I had came to me when I was on a station for the gas. So when I saw this petroleum pool on the ground, I was like, okay, let's take it as inspiration, because I really like the reflection of light on it and how detailed it looked, especially with the textures, because it has the texture of the ground, the stones, the asphalt, and then you have those rainbow colors onto it. It's, to me, very extraordinary, inspiring. And then I was like, something is missing. How can I make this experience truly luxury? And I thought about one texture that I really liked from my perception that looked very elegant and sleek, and it was the pearl. So my genius idea came from me just looking at the ground, seeing this petroleum pool, and thinking, what if I just combine these colors with the texture of a pearl and still give it this nice reflection. And this is how currently our website looks, the language of luxury. This is how we find those textures and ideas for most of our projects. We just look around, we observe. A lot of inspiration we found in nature, because things that are looking to us extraordinary and unique we find in nature, and they look organically different in terms of, like, when you are looking at those living organisms and they are not predictable, they are so different and so unique, and we can truly get inspired by them, because when you have a leaf and in place of 5 leaves it has only 3, you feel like, oh my god, this is a miracle. So we just get inspired by those things, and overall, I get inspired by them. Another thing that I found in my apartment that inspired me for one of the projects was the reflection of light. In certain hour in my apartment, there was the sun that was pretty low, and it started reflecting the glass on the balcony in a way that it made a line on the floor in the shape of a rainbow. I was like, what? How is that even possible? It's so pretty. So to me, those things are giving goosebumps, where I can be in the moment and start observing small things around me and just notice those tiny things that are open and visible for everyone, but just not everyone notices. And this is how you find it extraordinary. But another cool way about that is to mix different niches and experiment. It is a very playful process. So to widen the amount of options that we have, we need just to start combining niches between each other. It means that if you are inspired by fashion and you like kittens, combining kittens and fashion, 2 things that are quite popular and have a big volume of audience that are familiar with the topics, will give it a good exposure, and of course great chances to go viral as well, because everyone likes kittens, of course. So it means that for your content creation, it also can work if you're looking for creative ideas, but for brand experience, it works in the similar way. We just find 2 niches and we start experimenting. If, for example, you are inspired by cars and you find them gorgeous because they are fast, especially supercars, they are innovative, futuristic, especially if you're looking into those new Bugattis that are coming out, and oh my god, it is so, the color that they are coming out in, to me, it's so flattering and inspiring, very innovative. I saw a car in light blue color, and it had wide interior with glowy lighting and lines in it, something very cool. And then, of course, if you like the supercars and you want to combine them with maybe coffee niche, it can also be a cool experiment to try out. I'm just saying, So to me, there are no limits of what can be mixed. So in that other video, I have explained how do we work with humans. A lot of this video will also resonate in the next one, because it is all about observing things around you, slowing down your brain thoughts to make sure that your human senses, our 5 senses, sight, hearing, touch, smell and taste, are present and activated and are sensing the world where we are currently present at. Those senses can be combined as well with those different niches. So it means that, for example, for your supercar feeling, you can have your sense of touch, the textures, for example. You can have your sense of sound, the hearing of the supercar sound, and you can have the visuals, because it looks aesthetically pleasing, I have to admit. And then you have still taste and smell. Here is where your coffee niche comes in. So for the brand that you are creating, you can combine those 2 niches and combine the sensory experience around it, distributing it to different senses. And this is how the combinations become even more creative and more interesting, because you can create so many variety of options. If you even add or start adding archetypes to it, which we do at the agency when we are working on branding projects, this becomes truly crazy and will create something one of a kind, extraordinary, unique, and that people will truly remember, because it will feel alive. It will feel like there is nothing that you can even compare to. It would still feel familiar because we are connecting with people on the subconscious mind, using the sensory experiences that we all have as people. So it sounds familiar, it is very recognizable to us, but at the same time, because it is not just coffee and it's not just a supercar, but it's a mix of it, it feels like, oh, this is creative. So I highly recommend 2 things from this video is being in the moment of now, activating your senses, and just start observing around, because the more you know, the more visual experience you have, the more emotional experiences you start living. So every time we're experiencing something new, when we are trying a new way of walking somewhere, a new way of even eating something, a new way or a new food that we are trying, every time we are doing something new, there is a new brain pattern that is being created in your brain. And this, of course, stimulates creativity. So it means that our goal is just to train our brain to get excited to try new things out and allow yourself to think big, to dream without limits, because in creativity there are no limits. You can imagine anything you want, and this is what actually helps to visualize and to understand what kind of brand you will create afterwards. The less restrictions you will put on yourself, the less boundaries you will put on yourself regarding your brand experience, the better and the more creative it will be, because actually when we were kids we were used to do that all the time. We were dreaming and we were visualizing a lot of things that always brought us a sense of happiness, but as grown-ups we just forgot how to do that. So to do that, just try new things out, experiment, explore, have fun with it, enjoy being creative. If you want to know more about building a luxury brand, download my free guide in bio, 5 steps to make your brand look and feel more expensive. And I'm looking forward to see you in my next video.